Three, two, one.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Or Happy Christmas Madness, whichever comes first. Christmas Madness is always the worst because those are the days that are leading up to Christmas. And those days are like any other day. Yikes. And you can really get muddled up in Christmas Madness. I kind of got two titles mixed up in my last video. When I was covering the Odyssey 2, I believe I said like breakaway, breakthrough. Well, it was actually block out and breakaway. So, a little correction there. But now back on topic. Well, it's December and it's holiday festivities again. So, for the last 2 years, I've been covering the Pac-Man series. Last year, I said that I would be covering ms.pacman. Mostly because I figured, as a character, she deserved her own episode. So, without further ado, here's a little intro on Ms. Pac-Man. Ms. Pac-Man, licensed by Bally Midway, created by Namco. Created as a follow-up to Pac-Man, with Blinky, Pinky, Inky, Sue, who seems to be replacing Clyde in this game, and starring Ms. Pac-Man. She basically has been given a superstar treatment in this game, as if she was some big time movie star. Well, she's often seen as the first of the female video game characters who's branched out into many different platforms, as indicated here. From the arcades to the 2600 to the 5200, both by Atari, to even a compilation on the 7800 alongside Pac-Man, making its way to Tengen for the NES, even the Game Boy, and a version for more or less modern audiences. It was made for around the time of Pac-Man World, which was the 20th anniversary. It has made some changes over the years, but at heart it is still considered a classic character, whom we can always go back to if we feel like we just need to have some little old school fun. Ms. Pac-Man, you, like your male counterpart, have definitely earned your place in history. Let's see what all the games you have to offer. Okay, with that out of the way, where do we start? How about the arcade version? Let's go. Let's get started with the arcade version. Ms. Pac-Man with Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and of course, Sue. I guess Clyde was unavailable. I don't know why they changed Clyde to Sue. And starring Ms. Pac-Man. Your button, there you go. Ms. Pac-Mans. And despite the color scheme being different, it does play a little like the original Pac-Man. And also the design of the character, you see Ms. Pac-Man with a bow. And her death is different. Instead of deflating like a balloon and disappearing in a blip, she just does a death spin. Some have said Ms. Pac-Man is a little easier than the regular Pac-Man. And I do not know if it also has the same 256 level glitch that the predecessor had. Maybe they knew where to stop with the game, but then again, maybe they didn't. All in all, it's a pretty simple game. You just eat the dots, eat the power pellets, eat the ghosts, and just try to stay one step away from them as you try to clear the board. As I mentioned before, some believe it's a little on the easier side, and sometimes it is. I've also seen some people hack the game to make it go a little faster. And for the longest time, you found Ms. Pac-Man more than you found Pac-Man in your local arcade. But it's not just Ms. Pac-Man, this classic version that's also, well, let's just say she's been in other productions, well, other companies, other versions, but she has also had some, well, if I say work done, that implies a little bit more plastic surgery, but actually, well, she's had some mods done in the past. And one of those mods, well, let's see where we go from here. And the one dot left. And not a bad score. The high score starts out pretty low. But then it grows as you grow. And there I go. Okay, game over. But as I said, there were some mods done in the past. This is one. As I was looking through my grandpa's gaming mod system, I found there was a Ms. Pac-Man Plus here. And what makes it so plus? Well, the maze is different. And it is kind of harder to navigate. And you're trying to be precise with the joystick, which is hard to do with the terrain of the maze. Feels like you're going up a few steps here and there. Mostly down below, I'd say. And, well, the cherry does not exactly follow the path of the new maze. I think it's still connected to the old maze. But the principle is still the same. You're gobbling up dots. You gobble up power pellets to gobble up the ghosts. You try to clear the board. And stay away from the ghosts or one step ahead of them as best you can. Though I will admit with Pac-Man Plus, Ms. Pac-Man Plus, that job is a little, easier said than done. And a lot of times you're just waiting for the ghosts to come get you. But yeah, what am I not trying to go one more time? So let's go. Here we go, Ms. Pac-Man jumping through the mazes. I'm trying to make it past these steps. There's the cherry that does not really want to follow the new maze track. I think it still is programmed along the old guidelines. And yeah, that ghost throws me for some surprises. One last life. See if that does any good. It probably not. Actually, it did not because I did not gobble a ghost. Well, here we go again. And sometimes the controllers just drive you crazy. It requires precision control, and the controllers I come across don't really use it much. It plays very similar to Pac-Man. There's a lot of color differences, and yes, the character is also different as well. Gameplay is pretty much the same, but the appeal is to female gamers. But male gamers can play it just as well. Sometimes they might have an easier time of it. So where does it go from here? Well, home consoles, the Atari. The Atari 2600 version of Ms. Pac-Man. It's a little better from the original 2600 version, and took a look at the copyright date, a year apart. And the ghosts seem to be, they seem to be of their usual colors. See the eyeballs. And yeah, we've got the cherries, not vitamins this time. The maze seems to be more closer to the arcade design rather than the boxy design. Still have the crossovers, the left and the right, and it definitely handles a lot smoother than the 81 Pac-Man version. But much like the original Pac-Man version, you have energy wafers. Looks like you still have power pills. And but that's about it. The ghosts are identified by color. And I just cleaned up a level. Also, there are no transitions in this version. Sometimes even the home versions do have the classic arcade transitions. Ms. Pac-Man is better designed here than Pac-Man was. Yep, grab the strawberry. You can tell the bow in Ms. Pac-Man's hair. No lipstick, however, but you do see a bit of an eyeball. And, well, the original Pac-Man also had an eyeball, but his mouth opened not exactly the most Pac-Man-like of ways. Alright. Nope, too late. And the ending is like the arcade marquee. Blinky, Pinky, Inky, Clyde, no, not Clyde, Sue, and Ms. Pac-Man, and her title is below. Have to remember, Sue, not Clyde. This version of Ms. Pac-Man is a step up from the original Pac-Man. For one thing, the design is more closer to the arcade version, mostly because character's a little more rounder. The bite is more pronounced. Has a little more of an open eyeball, but you can also tell the bow in the back. It's a little better than the original, and it's close, but not a complete cigar. Because it still has a lot of the original design of the original Pac-Man for the Atari. Still had wafers, still had energy dots, but instead of a vitamin, you've got regular fruit. And the marquee, usually reserved for the entrance, is saved for the end when the game is over. But all in all, yeah, you can still enjoy this version of Ms. Pac-Man as well. So what's next? Well, the 7800, the homebrewed Pac-Man collection. I didn't go through all of them because there was Ms. Pac-Man on that collection. So we're going to revisit that Atari 7800 collection, and we're going to look at the Ms. Pac-Man titles. The Pac-Man collection, but this time it's Ms. Pac-Man. The arcade still has the same arcade look and feel. I think probably this is the best home version I've come across of this. Let's see how well it plays. Cherries are bouncing around. The ghosts are pronounced as well, especially the blue. Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Sue. Unfortunately, I did not. Yeah. I ran right into Sue. Not Clyde, Sue. Yep, I had to remember that one. But yeah, let's see. Maneuvering around. Yep. Close to the arcade. And yeah, I just bit another power pellet. Yeah, they are power pellets, not power pills. Got the cherry. Moving around. Yep. And now the power pellets are all gone. So let's start. Well, we're going to get one. Let's see, can I make those last round? Yes, I did. Okay, let's see if we can clear up another maze. Alright. Control seems to handle okay for right now. Strawberry. Yep. Let's see, can we get another one? Yes. Set 2. Alright, now here's where, yep, apparently. And ran right into Pinky. This is where I guess the control gets a little stiff. Alright. Design of Ms. Pac-Man is, again, close to the arcade. Don't see the lipstick, but I see the bow. And looks like closed eyelash instead of the open eye as in the 2600. Game over. Let's see what other trouble we can get ourselves into. Ms. Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Attack, which looks like Ms. Pac-Man Plus from the arcade version. Same design of maze. Alright, it's real hard to maneuver in this. So, getting the ghosts will be a headache. And, hang on, here's the cherry that I got grabbed by Inky. And yet, it seems this one is following the path of the maze that the arcade version did not. It seemed like the arcade version was still following the old patterns of the old maze. Okay. Too late. And it wore off before I could get to Blinky, and Pinky got me. Yeah, Ms. Pac-Attack, this maze is really a headache because you're not exactly free moving throughout this one. Just as you weren't with Ms. Pac-Man Plus. Still go around to the other side and ran right into Inky. And again, the same spin death. Game over. Let's see what other tricks we can get into. Random mazes. So here's one. This one is definitely different. It seems a little more, a little more free moving, but you can get boxed in several areas. See, got to the power pellets, and nope, and yeah. Are you able to get through on that one? Huh. Good to know, at least I think, because it looks like those are barricaded. Got the cherry, and missed out on Sue. Okay, come on, one. I hate it when they turn on you at the last minute. And ooh, Pinky ran on my tail. And yeah, boxed in and Pinky got me. So ready again. Try to get those corners whenever a ghost is not chasing you. So it's like sneak away. And come on. Oh no, got me again. Pinky got me again. Ooh. So yeah, one other corner to left to get. That's gonna be fun. So 1 ghost, and 2 ghosts, 3 ghosts, and yep. Alright. Going to the side tunnel. Strange, seems like the ghosts can go through those walls, but you can't. Well, they're living up to the name ghosts, I guess, because I guess those are ghost accesses and not your accesses. All in all, it's still very much like the original Ms. Pac-Man. 7800 and 5200 have been known to try to be as closer to the original arcade as possible. Probably say the same for the computer versions, but I have not played the computer versions at this time. I do not have the equipment ready for it. But yeah, the 7800 is definitely, it definitely echoes back to the arcade, and it plays pretty much the same. This one's going to be a little more fun, or interesting to say the least. Tengen's version of Ms. Pac-Man for the NES cartridges.
Tengen was a subsidiary to Atari Games. And this version seems to have a whole lot of options to it. You can do the booster, you can do a main selection, you can change the difficulty. Big, mini, strange, arcade, mini. So let's see. Guess looks like I'm going to decide to try mini on this one. So, looks like a smaller maze, but this is a little, well, actually, seems like the camera follows along Ms. Pac-Man a bit in a small maze. Graphically, it seems to work pretty well. The ghosts look to be of this similar design, similar reaction, same color, same being afraid. Once you hit a power pellet. And yeah, the depth is still the same. And the camera focuses back on some main position. So, the Game Boy version also seems to have some kind of camera follow. But here, it's a little more arcade colored. But the camera is following is pretty different. Gameplay is still pretty much the same. You're still eating dots. You're still trying to evade the ghosts. Trying to chomp the ghosts. The fruit still bounces around, as you can see with the cherry. It's very much along the lines, to me, of the arcade version. But I want to see what else there is. Hold on. Going back to the options screen, let's see. Change mini to... what else can we get? Big. Alright, let's see what that one does. Well, I think this might be a bigger minis, but regardless, you're still going to have the camera following this Pac-Man on it. I don't know, maybe this might... with the starlit treatment following a camera, I might have some kind of paparazzi impact or something like that. Because cameras always following along the star and never leaving them alone. And this maze does look pretty big, but still also very close to the arcade original maze. Ghost, three. I don't think I can get the fourth one. Nope, too late. Did I get the cherry? I don't know, it's bouncing around. There we go again. I always seem to try to get the controller down, but the reactions really have to be precise. And sometimes I just don't have that kind of precise reaction. And I run into the one that is not affected by the power pellet, Blinky. So, once again, back down. Jump up. Jump up. I think you get pretty much the gist here. Full maze, bigger maze, but pretty much the same game. Yep, eat the cherry. Let's see what else we can find out. Hold on a minute. I just finished Strange Maze. And of course, let's see. Yep. Go on to the next maze. You change the colors, but actually when you go on to the next level, yeah, colors change and well, sometimes the design will remain the same, but for Strange Maze, yeah, it still keeps an unusual design for it. 2, and yep. So let's see what else we can get out of this. Well, arcade, let's see how similar arcade is. So, yep, it's pretty much the same, it's pretty much the same design maze as you find in the arcade game, and still as graphically pleasing as it would be to the arcade. Small little differences, but nothing to really cry home about. But yeah, this is the camera following along instead of staying locked onto one screen. So that's the one difference this Tengen version has. Follow the player, not just stay focused on the screen. So looking through this one more time, let's see what this PAC booster does. PAC booster, use A or B, always on, off. Let's just use A and B. Let's see what the PAC booster will do for us. So, looks like the PAC booster allows you to move a little faster. In many versions of Ms. Pac-Man, yeah, you did have a speed booster. And in many versions, that speed booster was always on. Sometimes it helped you, and sometimes it got you into a mess. Put the camera back on our star. Go through the maze again. Right. Gotta go through it as fast as possible. Yep, there we go. So can we get to go now? No, you still have to have your moves precise. And sometimes precise control and me do not mix with the arcade control. But not for lack of trying. For what it's worth, this does deviate a little from the arcade version as it keeps the focus on Ms. Pac-Man rather than the entire board. A camera seems to follow Ms. Pac-Man throughout the maze, no matter what maze you use. Arcade, mini, strange, you name it. The focus is on Ms. Pac-Man. But all in all, still, gameplay is pretty much the same. Fun game, little twist, still close to the arcade, but yeah, camera follows the leader in this one. I could be wrong, but I think this might be an old 7800 original. Yeah, it plays out with, like the arcade, with Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and with Sue. And, of course, starring Ms. Pac-Man, the star of the show. I do think this is an original 7800 version. Usually when you got to the arcade games, 7800, it came out with its own version. as close to the original as one could get. And yeah, the design does look like it would be good for arcade quality. It definitely plays along arcade quality, or at least I found it to. But I think there is another contender to take a look at. The 5200 version. This one, you just have the ms.pacman marquee, and you just go straight into gameplay, which looks a little more crisper than the 7800 version. Although the ghosts seem to look the same when they go blue. But you also got the point tallies for the ghosts, which, well, I don't believe the 2600 did. When you compare the 2600 version to like the 2600 version of Pac-Man, and I just died. The 2600 version of Ms. Pac-Man is, I'd say, a step up, but not quite there in terms of arcade quality. Although they definitely look to try to perfect the property as best they could. And one more time. Or should I just go on ahead? Well, probably go on ahead because the 7800, the 5200, and the 2600. There's, and of course Tengen. What else is left? Game Boy version. No superstar treatment here. You just get a regular marquee. And hope you enjoy green because, well, you're going to see a lot of it. That's going to be expected with the Game Boy. Especially, usually with the Game Boy mod. The ghosts all look the same. Much like Atari's Pac-Man. Of course, there's no flicker. And, ooh, right into that one. And of course, Ms. Pac-Man does her death spin. Not a death deflate as Pac-Man does. All intents and purposes, it's the same game. The ghosts are seemingly all the same color, but they seem to handle themselves like the arcade ghosts, even giving their scary faces whenever a power pellet is eaten. It's pretty much the same game as you've seen from the other places. 400, 800. Am I gonna make it? I made it. But no matter what system it is done on, you will find yourself. It's really the same game. Sometimes it's just different systems you play on. And now it is Christmas. So what game did I cover for Christmas this time? Back in one moment. I'm sad to say that my Christmas content is limited, and one of the games I seem to have already covered. It's on this cartridge right here. Stella's Stocking. If you're not familiar with Stella, well, that's the emulator that's used for the 2600. And I've already played the game Stay Frosty, which is on this cartridge. But there are 4 other games on this that I can review, hopefully in the years to come. I feel it's better to look at them year by year rather than just try to get it all in at once. So, which game did I cover? Well, You remember the song Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer? On this cartridge, Grandma gets revenge. We are greeted to an image of Stella for Stella's stocking. In case you're wondering, Stella is also the name of the emulator for the Atari 2600. But this game seems to put a face to the name. And yes, it is a very pretty face. Went to Stella stocking, 2008, use left-right to select the game, and fire to begin. Okay. Alright, so we're seeing we got Stay Frosty. I believe I've already covered this one as a separate cartridge. Be sure to Stay Frosty. Programmed by Daryl Spice Jr. Game concept and graphics by Nathan Strum. Let's see, we also got Tossing Cookies. Reindeer have run off. Roots cookies to win them back. Programmed by Chris Reed. Elf Dash, help Holly keep her job. Collect items and avoid toys. Okay. Grandma's Revenge, however, is the one that I will be covering. Yep, Grandpa got run over by a reindeer, and now it is Payback Time, designed by Fred Quimby with graphics by David Vasquez. Yeah, Santa flattened Grandma last Christmas Eve. Now it's Payback Time. Yeah, we'll see how much payback Grandma gets with this. But is there one more? Well, let's see. Cold War. Let's see. Snowball Supremacy. Programmed by David Weevil with graphics. We'll have to get back to that one. This is Grandma's Revenge. And here I was pretty much experimenting. This is where I was trying with the Sega controller. There's the reindeer moving around, and there's the sparkly. But I was not going anywhere because I was using a Sega D-pad, and what usually would qualify for the firing button did not seem to work. So I'm going to experiment another way. So here is where I switch over to a traditional joystick. Yeah, you go over the puddle and it looks like your car turns into a monster truck. And you look to make the reindeer roadkill. And, okay, you got some splats down there. And your point value comes. Looks like you've got some additional cars there. Wonder what that means. So let's try this again. Okay. And here the reindeer just does not seem to want to move all that much. Alright. Kind of wonder about this, because first the reindeer is moving around quite a bit, and, well, that's a small little dot. And 4, 5. This game really just does, so you got 6, 3, and 8. Alright, there's the big dot, and yep, you're on Monster Truck again, so go and run down, you hit it 9 times. This is just, I don't know, I mean, change out the joystick and all of a sudden the reindeer just gets stationary. And, okay, I guess, what, the roadkill counts for the reindeer? It's like points for the reindeer or something, and the reindeer just stays there? I don't know about that one, so, where roadkill can get you. There's the sparkly dot, but, nope, Ooh, yep, you got hit again. So basically, you just can't hit a reindeer where you hit them before, or go over it. Otherwise, that will come back to haunt you later. And I think it also disappears a little later. So I think this game's kind of a little bit of a mixed match, and it's just not that. I'm sorry, it's just not that appealing to me. I mean, yeah, you're running down roadkill, but you figured the reindeer would put up a bit of challenge, and I thought it did, but apparently not here. So you're running around. First it looked like the reindeer moved around. Now all of a sudden you change back to like original joystick controllers, and the reindeer just sits there saying, "Come get me, come get me, come get me, come get me, come get me." And well, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here, but this game just does nothing for me much. I'm sorry to say this game really didn't offer me much. And it was a little confusing too, because at first it seemed like you were maneuvering, the reindeer was moving around, and then didn't seem to be after that. It's cheap thrills, and yeah, I mean, you're just running down a reindeer's roadkill and you can turn your car into a monster truck, but there just really doesn't seem to be all that much to it. Maybe I'm missing something, but Grandma's Revenge, man, it's hard to find the words for it, but revenge is a pointless pursuit. Let's just leave it there. And now for the final message. Christmas will be on us soon. It's a time of giving. It's a time of joy. And there will be some that follow a holiday similar. Jews, it's Hanukkah. There's Kwanzaa. And maybe there's others that I am not familiar with. But regardless, it's supposed to be a time of peace, love, and joy. Now, granted, that just seems further and further away. But a day of joy, even one day of joy, can have so much impact. Especially out of 364 not so grand days. Minus a few here and there. Because they can't all be headaches, if you know what I mean. But however you celebrate this time of joy and giving with your family, I wish you all the best. Happy holidays, everyone. Joy, peace, and love. Feel like I'm missing out on a game and want to nominate one of your own? Don't forget to check me out on social media or leave a like and a comment below. See y'all next time, and don't forget to click and subscribe. Happy holidays, everybody.